Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I'm Barbara. Thank you so much for coming by my channel. Whether you're new, thank you for stopping by, or if you've been with me for quite some time, I appreciate you. Thank you for keep coming back and watching my videos and keeping me company. So I appreciate that. I appreciate every like, every subscribe, every comment. It does my heart good. So today I want to talk to you about some things that I've done differently this summer that I didn't do last summer, and I've mentioned it on some of my videos. And so one of the things you guys one of the things that I always say is that this is a journey, right? Gardening is a journey. And so that means you learn different things along the journey, you get new information, you try new things. And so one of the things that I've really focused on this season, and it's not perfect, but I'm certainly doing it, and I did not do it last year, was really trying to keep regular fertilization of my plants, right? So I wanted to show you guys today some of the products that I've been using and kind of the schedule that I normally have been using. And I think that it's working because I'm having better success this year than I did last year. Now, by all means, it's not perfect, but at least I'm making a concerted effort this time to do it. So in terms of, fertilizing your plants, you can't just put your plants in the ground, water them, and that's it, right? They need nutrients, and you really want to feed your soil, not necessarily your plants, right? You want to create a healthy microbiome system in your soil. So you really want to feed your soil and make sure that it has nutrients as well as your plants. Let me say that, not or, but and, right? And so one of the things, like last summer, I didn't know a lot of how to fertilize. I didn't take the time to fertilize. A lot of times I didn't have time, and it was just one extra thing, right? But this year I've tried to be purposeful and intentional about taking some time to fertilize. So what I would normally do is, of course, before I plant and I amend the beds, then I would use an all-purpose fertilizer. And let me see if I have it. Okay. I don't have it. I think I'm out of it. The one that I use like to amend my beds, it's a granule. And so one of the things, again, that someone had told me last summer was to use like a granule, because it has it'll be not time release, but it'll be released for about 2 to 3 months, right? So it's not just a once and done, right? So that's really good. And so I would put that in my soil when I was amending the beds, and I think it was like a 10-10-10, if I'm not mistaken. It's like an all-purpose fertilizer, right? So it's not swinging one way or another. It's just kind of all-purpose. So I was using that in all of the beds that I amended, and I'm out of it, so I need to get some more. So that was definitely one thing that I'm doing. You guys know that I also, before I planted the outside garden, and I've done it some in here, is that I use alfalfa meal. That's a good fertilization. And then I've also used earthworm castings, right? And I also use some real worms. If you didn't see that video, let me link it up here so you can see it, right? You're going to get all the feels in that video, because when I say dealing with live worms, they had me shook. It had me shook. But anyway, so I've done the all-purpose fertilizer, and I've also done the alfalfa meal. I've done the earthworm castings. And it was something else. So those are like the main three, especially when I am amending the bed, going from one plant to the next, one season to the next. So that's kind of like my standards, those three, right? But like the all-purpose fertilizer, it's going to be kind of like time release, so to speak. But the earthworm castings, yes, obviously it's feeding the soil, is there. The alfalfa meal is feeding the soil, and it's there. But you need to do some regular feeding, fertilization throughout your growing season, right? And not just do that one time and water until the season is over, right? That's what I did last year. And I had some success, but I definitely have more success this season, right? Another thing that is really important, and this is, let me back up, because I probably should have said this first, is I got a soil test last year and this year, right? So it's important to do a soil test so that you know what your soil needs, especially if you're planting in the ground, right? So for those that are new, I'm in my high tunnel now. So I have raised beds in my high tunnel. Of course, we brought that soil in, but I'm also planting in the ground in the high tunnel. And then I have a garden, an outside garden, where it's just strictly in the ground. So obviously we're directly into the soil. And then I have raised beds behind my house. So it's important that I got a soil test before I started, right? So that way I know what nutrients are lacking. And I encourage you to do a soil test so that you know what nutrients are lacking, so that you're just not doing just all purpose, but you're doing things that are specific to whatever your soil needs, whether it needs nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, whatever the case may be. So that's definitely important. But I want to show you some other things that I've done throughout the growing season. And I'm actually about to do it now. I'm going to try a new way today, but I've been using, let me grab it. So before I show you the bottle of one of the things I'm using, one thing that I've done, and you guys, I have showed this on a previous video, is that I bought these compost tea bombs from Whispering Willow Farm, and I'll link her information, but it's Whispering Willow Farm. She sells these compost tea bombs, and it's like insect frass, kelp, alfalfa, but it's all in like this little bomb. And I bought this 25-gallon trash can, filled it up with water, put the bomb in there, and it makes like 25 gallons of this compost tea. And I have done that twice this season. So, and that has been really, really great, right? So that's nutrients directly into the soil. So I've done that twice. I've also done I made my own worm tea. So I got some earthworm castings, put it in some water, kind of let it diffuse or infuse, if you will, for like 24 hours. And then I use that as well to water my plants. So those are two things that I've done differently this year that I didn't do last year. Right. And so again, I think that all of that is helping to create that healthy, microbiome system. So that's definitely a key. Now, because I have such a big garden, a big space, I'll tell you, it can be tiring. So basically, on the two things that I just mentioned with the the compost tea and the worm tea, I have a big 25-gallon trash can, fill it up with water, but I'm just using like a 2-gallon watering can each time to get it out of, and then I'm just going around and sprinkling the plants. Y'all, that's a lot of trips. But that's the best I can do right now. And I will tell you that in each of those instances, I did not get everything in the high tunnel, everything behind my house, or everything in the outside garden done with that 25-gallon thing. I didn't, because it's too much, right? And so what I tried to do was I think I did the high tunnel one time, and I did the outside garden, like some of my, what I call my key plants, like my tomatoes, things like that I really wanted to make sure they got the nutrients. And the corn I did something completely different with. With the corn, I just used like some straight nitrogen, because corn loves nitrogen. And my corn produced, right? My corn produced, which 2 years ago, it didn't produce. So, yeah, so that does get old with the 2-gallon watering can. But right now, that's all I have. In an ideal world, I would love to have some type of injection system where you can put your fertilizer into your injection system and it automatically drips to your plants. Like, if anybody has that, let me know. I don't even know what it takes. I don't know how much it costs. I don't even know. I know that it's possible, but I don't even know where to begin. So if you have that, let me know below and point me to any resources that will get me on the right track, because that is my goal for next summer. One is to have drip tape irrigation, especially in the high tunnel and out there, because the watering, y'all, it takes a lot of time. So I definitely want to get drip tape irrigation for sure. But if I can have some like kind of injection system, that would be like game changer. Okay. But today we're using a 2-gallon watering bucket. So let me show you one of the things that I tried this year. So this is from Fox Farm. I love their products. Let's see if you can see it. They have a whole line of products. So this is called Grow Big. This is liquid plant food, and it's a 644. So if you don't know, the numbers are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. I think I got that right. So the number 6 is the nitrogen, and the 4 and the 4 is the potassium and the phosphorus. So this is a great, this is what I've used when I've done seedlings and transplanted them into the ground, or I put a brand new plant in. So this is kind of like the beginning part, of fertilization, putting that in to help them to kind of grow big and start to get their blooms and fruit and things like that. And it's worked really, really well. You just dilute this, in some water, and there you go. But they have a whole line. They have a Grow Big. They have, I don't remember the other names, but you can look it up, Fox Farm. They have something for when you, after the transplant stage, and just kind of maintaining all the way throughout. But I've been using this, and so this works out great. I like this. Another thing that I've used is just like some kelp fertilizer, fish fertilizer. This is a 511, so again, it's high in nitrogen, which is good. Yeah, you can't go wrong with like seaweed, kelp, fish emulsion, anything like that. So I've been using that as well on my plants. Another thing that I've used is, this is a new company that I've tried. It's AgriGrow. You can see that here. And this is liquid calcium. So for your tomatoes, you know that your tomatoes need calcium, and that helps with like blossom end rot and it's something else. I can't remember. Anyway, calcium is good, especially for tomato plants, but it's good for all your plants, and it helps them to kind of intake and uptake the nutrients better. So this is Super Cal. It's a liquid calcium fertilizer, and basically 1 ounce equals 2 tablespoons, and you can use it in several different ways. And so this is like 10% soluble calcium. So that's been good. I've just started using that. And then the other thing by the same company, by AgriGrow, this is called Bountiful Harvest. So this is a prebiotic fertilizer that I've just started using. And I haven't, we'll see. I mean, I think the results, I mean, I've only used it once. So we'll see. I'm going to actually use it today. And so what I did was with this was just diluted it also in my 2-gallon watering can. And I've been going around watering, you know, the holes again. So has everything been watered? Nope. My goal is to like fertilize something every day, but that hasn't been happening. Like I said, this is not perfect. It's not ideal, but it's definitely way more than what I did last season. So this right here is a prebiotic, like I said, fertilizer. It has nitrogen, boron, manganese, and zinc all in it. And it helps, it says it helps with growing tastier fruits and vegetables, flowers. It works in harmony with nature to boost plant growth and overall plant health while energizing the soil's ecosystem to increase nutrient uptake, improve soil structure, build humus, speed up the breakdown of organic matter, and help withstand soil-borne disease. So again, this is all natural, organic, and so I'm really excited. So I've been using this as a 2-gallon in my 2-gallon watering can. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to use this as a foliar spray, and I've never done that before. So basically I'm going to dilute, to be different measurements. I'm going to dilute, I have a spray bottle, and I'm going to go around and spray the leaves of my plants, right? And so that's another way to fertilize your plants, is through a foliar spray. Spraying the leaves, it gets into the root, it gets into the leaves, and helps them to be healthier. So I'm wondering if this will be better, so to speak, or quicker, not as many trips as the whole 2-gallon watering can. Like, can I get more plants done with the spray versus with the 2-gallon watering can? We're going to see. So I'm going to actually try that today. Okay, so I have this regular spray bottle that I got from my Tractor Supply. This is 32 ounces. So on the back, I'm going to use the Bountiful Harvest. So on the back, it kind of tells you how much to put for a foliage spray. So this says mix 1 to 2 ounces in 1 gallon of water and mist evenly onto plant foliage every 7 days. Spray in the morning, early morning, or late evening. Avoid direct sunlight like you would any other fertilizer. So a gallon is like 128 ounces. Ooh, y'all taking me back. So this is like 32 ounces. So I'm gonna do like half an ounce. And I think that'll be right on track. So I'm just gonna eyeball this. Yep. Eyeball it. Oh, I actually got the measurements right there. Okay, and so we're just going to fill this with water, and then we're going to go around and spray the plants. Okay, so I have done, let's see, two and a half beds, and it was like up here, and I've used half of it. So that definitely probably lasts longer than me doing it in a 2-gallon. I guess because it's coming out as a spray and not straight liquid. So this way I can see, to me, it's going to take longer per se, even though it may last longer. Now it is easier because I haven't had to make a trip. I'm in the hot tunnel now with the hose pipe. But like if I was in the outside garden, I probably could get more done without having to come in and make another trip to fill back up with water. So what I think I may try with this is to always like keep this mixed and concentrated in my greenhouse, and then I can spray maybe, that might be easier for me to spray a few plants a day or a section a day versus filling up the 2-gallon and all of that. This to kind of already have it ready on hand. So I think that might be easier. But again, this is another good way to get nutrients into your soil and into your plants. So I'm proud that I'm doing more than I did last year. Like I said, it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it's much better than last season. So I would love to know what you guys are doing to fertilize your plants. Put it down below. Give me any suggestions. Let's share and encourage each other. That's what this community is all about. But thank you guys so much. I just wanted to kind of show you what I've been doing this season and how it's a little bit different. And I believe that I'm seeing, much better results because of that. So I'm going to keep spraying my plants. And I think I'm going to also do some 2-gallon trips as well, just to kind of get more done. I think I'll just, I sometimes have to play like mind tricks with yourself. It's like, okay, just do it for like 10 minutes. Like whatever you can get done in 10 minutes, then you'll be free to kind of just stop. And then whatever got done, got done. Do y'all play those mind tricks with yourself? Yeah, sometimes you got to do whatever works, right? Because the thought of doing this whole space, this whole garden, I'm like, that's a lot. So I got my spray. I'm going to keep spraying, and I'm going to do maybe 5 or 10 minutes worth of the 2-gallon, however many I can get done. And that's going to be it for fertilization today until the next time. So the frequency, I didn't tell you about that. So I've been trying to do something at least once a month, and with this product, it said you can use it every 7 days, which is fantastic. So yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, right? We're all in this together. Remember, it is all a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time.